I can be able to come at her level and say, well, da 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 da, you had this because you lived in this area. Well, I didn't have that in my area. You know, that may be a difference in how we interact or how we see things or how we view things. And what you had access to may be different than what I had access to. But be more mindful that, hey, you know, everybody's situation isn't like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way I think that you can provide education to somebody that may be in a privileged setting is to provide a counter example, to have conversations with those people. You're not going to change people on a mass scale, but if you can change one person that you have a conversation with, and they in turn have a conversation with you, you know, you're both learning something. Because that person may not necessarily see that as a privilege. They may have seen it something as, you know, which kind of is the definition, but, you know, something that they were always readily accessible and already able to have without asking for it. So,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, just being very cognizant that people are different than you and being able to engage in conversation with those. That's what we're supposed to do while we're in college anyway. So.
Okay. So it's been brought to my attention that sometimes when we have the discussion of privilege and oppression and what certain groups have had to experience and deal with and the obstacles that they face, that the approach is often very in your face, and it can be a little offensive and kind of turn people off to the educational piece that's attempting to be provided. So from one aspect, I can definitely understand how you don't want to offend people because then they're not going to listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
But from the other aspect, how far is too far as far as watering down the message before it's no longer effective?
Well, it's just, you have, like I said, you have to be mindful of the people that you're talking to. Like, I'm the type of person that 6 days out of 7, I'm open to you just being open with me and blunt with me and straightforward with me. The topic of oppression and privilege and things of that nature are indicative of racial overtones. And for those that aren't the type that like to talk about race, or that maybe, you know, I don't know, but Jessica, you know, is not black, and it's usually black people talking about race. It's usually a sticky situation for somebody that's not black to kind of try to chime in or try to give their input on something. And it's like, black people can say the N-word, but white people can't. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, if I do mention race, then I'm not qualified enough because I'm not that color. So it's kind of like a reverse privilege type deal. But I think you have to know what level that person is on and that level of comfort, because Q may not like to talk about race, but she might be open to conversations about building better bonds between people of different ethnicities. So I had to know where she's at, and that's only going to happen if I engage in conversations. But also, those people that are uncomfortable need to make that known. Like, if you're another ethnicity, and say like Brittany's case, she's mixed, so like she has a different amount of experiences there because she has both African American heritage and a Caucasian, a white background. So like, where is she in that conversation? Mm-hmm. And it's like, privilege, oppression, race, religion, politics is always going to leave somebody uncomfortable, because for one, people get really uptight about those things. It's not something that people can just freely express. In my opinion, I feel like everything is negotiable. And I mean, what I mean by that is everything is able to be discussed in a manner that when I leave a conversation with you, I still may not agree with you, but at least I understand your position on it. Mm-hmm. And it takes the person who wants to give that message, they have to assess those people, that audience that they're trying to give that information to. The people that are receiving that message need to be reciprocal and understand that, hey, there's an amount of responsibility that applies to me and relies on me. So if I'm not a person that likes to avoid situations, like if it's something I don't know about, I'm going to ask you, well, what do you, in your personal experience, what do you think this means, or does this apply to you? Because, okay, Jessica is white and I'm black, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she's just had different things happen to her that didn't happen to me. You know, you have to also look at SES. You also have to look at different religious backgrounds, different types of, you know what I'm saying? Because we automatically think when it comes to race that a person of a different ethnicity just had it better than we had it, or that they were actively oppressing us. And I mean, that's what our brain does. Our brain makes shortcuts so we don't have to use all our energy on something that may not be relevant. But at the same time, it's like, well, let me talk to Jessica about how she feels about this. And Jessica being open, or to a point where she's like, okay, well, I understand that, but that's not really where I want to go. And some people, you know, race and, like I said, other things, it's like, I don't want to talk about that. Like, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about lollipops and unicorns and let's chill, you know what I'm saying? You know, and it's discouraging because it's like, me as an African American male, there's so much that I'm trying to learn about myself, my heritage that hasn't been discussed, trying to find out who I am as a person, what, you know, this world says about me, and trying to share those experiences and learn from the people that are around me. Like, it's hard to use Jessica as an example, but although she is of a different ethnicity than me, we've come from similar SES backgrounds, but she's also a woman. So it's like, I learn more about being a man interacting with women as well as learning about being black dealing with a different ethnicity. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends on that person, what type of feeling they're on and what vibe they're on. Because, you know, sometimes we could be gung-ho about a situation. Let's talk about it. Let's do it. Let's get it. And then other days it's just like, yeah, I'm going to let you finish, but I'm not about that life right now. And I don't got time for that. So, and that's my opinion. So.
Wow.
I know, right?
Does anybody have anything else that they want to
That
share?
was, he great. Elaborate.
You did.
You did that.
You did that. And I appreciate you bringing it back and talking about women and men, because there is a level of privilege and oppression within that as well.
I mean, you got sexual orientation privileges. You have, you know,
Gender.
just, I mean, particular organizations that you're aligned with. You know what I'm saying? Like when Jessica was saying about the rewards. Like, I don't have a Discovery card. I don't have an American Express card. They have different privileges that I don't have. Like, you know, you get your Sky Miles with your American Express. I have a Wells Fargo card from the bank.
Man.
So Wells Fargo don't even like to do me right. You know what I'm saying? Wells Fargo like to charge me for giving them money.
Yes.
You know, so it's like, you know, it just depends on a lot of different characteristics, but we do generalize a lot of things because it makes those distinctions a little bit more easier to talk about. So, you know, that's my little spiel.
Well, I see you there. Y'all gonna have to stop messing with the Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo gonna be doing y'all right. But we're gonna take a quick break, listen to a couple songs, and then we'll come back and kind of wrap up and give our shout outs and things of that nature. So stay tuned, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon. Don't cry.